This is an isolated neuroscience institute, yet these autistic children are all uniquely gifted computer experts. Hacking into the Pentagon at any moment has become routine for them, and even the leader of Europe's largest assassin organization is easily had in their hands. Furthermore, unsolved homicide cases that stump the police still require their help to crack. This is the highly rated 2025 action-packed gunfight film, The Accountant 2, released after a 9-year wait, continuing the story from the previous installment. That night, Ray, the former deputy director of FinCEN, met the assassin Anaïs in a tavern, intending to hire her to find Alberto, the 13-year-old autistic son of a Salvadoran family. However, Ray, semi-retired, didn't know the Anaïs before him was actually the boy's mother. She had undergone reconstructive surgery after severe injuries from a car accident, which also caused her memory loss. Anise then warned Ray that she had noticed several assassins watching him the moment she entered. Hearing this, Ray quickly got up, preparing to escape through the restroom at the back, but the restroom window had already been sealed shut, impossible to open. Soon, 2 assassins pursued him, searching everywhere for his whereabouts. Fearing the worst, Ray swiftly scrawled his final words onto his arm. Moments later, Anise calmly walked out of the tavern, and Cobb, waiting outside, saw her and planned to take her down too. Ray, emerging from the restroom, was shocked to discover the other assassins had already been dealt with. Meanwhile, Cobb, stationed outside, also lost sight of his target. The assassin stabbed by Ray had just run out the door when he was slammed into by a car. As Ray followed the crowd preparing to cross the street, because Ray had set Marybeth as his emergency contact, the LAPD immediately called her with news of his death. Examining Ray's body, Marybeth noticed the scrawled handwriting on his arm. "Find the accountant." Immediately after, she found investigation files on several unsolved homicide cases in his rented apartment. Using the information on a business card, Marybeth called Harbor Neuroscience Institute, asking if they had an employee named Wolff, but they said no such person existed. She then asked if there was a woman with a British accent, but again, found nothing. However, Marybeth surmised that Justine was likely monitoring her calls and knew Justine took orders from Wolff, who was engaged in accounting work.
My name is Marybeth Medina. I'm staring at a pile of homicide photos, maps of Central America, Mexico, pizza receipts, and pretty sure I'm staring at a photo of her boss. I need his help.
Hanging up now.
Oh, wait. Ray King has been murdered.
The trafficker Burke berated Cobb, asking how 4 professional assassins couldn't handle one woman. Cobb, however, reassured Burke, telling him not to worry yet. Perhaps Anise simply didn't remember him. Burke believed this was only temporary because Anise had once killed 3 guys negotiating with him right in front of him, though luckily she hadn't recognized him then. But she would remember who he was one day, remember all the terrible things he'd done, and then his whole world would come crashing down. Following clues from the homicide files, Marybeth found the site of Anaïs's car accident, and Wolff suddenly appeared before her.
I coughed loudly twice. No, please don't do that.
You're Christian Wolff,
You're Marybeth Medina.
an escaped convict, trained by mob accountants. Your clients are drug cartels, money launderers, third world warlords. Do you like puzzles, Mr. Wolff?
Marybeth's investigation revealed that the assassins killed in the tavern were all Special Forces veterans. Wolff, however, believed Ray wasn't capable of killing them. Meanwhile, Anaïs's father, Gonzalez, was assassinated at home. Working late into the night, Marybeth still had no leads on any of the cases. However, Wolff merely stayed up one night and managed to reorganize and clarify everything. Using this photo, he traced them to Central America. Anise's husband had gang tattoos proving he came from Izalco prison in El Salvador. After clashing with another gang, they reached the Mexican border and then clung to a freight train. All the illegal immigrants hid underneath the cars, afraid to go inside, as this was the only way to bypass immigration checkpoints. After the grueling journey to Mexico City, they typically chose one of 3 routes to illegally cross into Texas and the United States. After arriving in Los Angeles, Anise worked at a pizza factory. Through the tax return, Wolff found his father, Gonzalez. Then they went to the place where Anaïs used to work, but the person in charge claimed to have no memory of her. Just as the man was about to leave, Wolff exposed his money laundering scheme. He stated that their factory's delivery business accounted for 2/3 of operations, and last year's EBIT plus depreciation and salary expenses totaled $42.9 million. Yet they only declared $41.9 million. The man argued that the missing $1 million was donated to a homeless shelter. However, Wolff discovered from his pound taxable income that extra-large pizzas, the most ordered item by customers, made up 90% of sales. An extra-large pizza sold for $17.35, which equated to 1,484,315 extra-large pizzas. They spent $360,000 on pizza boxes, which could only buy 900,000 large-size boxes. This expense was far less than the claimed number of pizzas, indicating fraudulent reporting. The actual revenue didn't match, aimed at concealing black money from other channels.
Fucking rodent.
Now wait just a second.
I take time out of my busy day to answer your silly-ass questions, and you got the balls to accuse me of money laundering?
Wolff then forced him to reveal the motel associated with illegal activities. Next, they planned to use this lead as a breakthrough to follow the trail and investigate further. Wolff decided to call his cold-blooded killer brother Braxton, whom he hadn't seen for 8 years, to come and help. When Braxton learned the woman before him was the deputy director of FinCEN, his mood instantly soured. Marybeth stated that they were now partners, and she had zero interest in what he did for a living. Then, Braxton professionally summoned 3 street-based service providers and paid them to summon their manager. Meanwhile, Marybeth's colleague reviewed surveillance footage and saw that gunshots were heard just 45 minutes after Ray entered the tavern. Police then swarmed the scene but found nothing and couldn't identify the shooter. Ray left the tavern 90 seconds later. Criminal groups often kidnap undocumented immigrants for ransom or sell them to traffickers. Those whose families can't pay suffer terrible fates. Anaïs's husband died this way. Soon, Thomas arrived at the motel after receiving a call.
Got my bitches, asshole.
The Wolff brothers then shoved Thomas into Marybeth's trunk. Marybeth argued they had no right to detain someone arbitrarily and worried police might check her trunk during the drive. To ease her concern, Wolff immediately sent the location to Justine. Open a green route for her until Victory Boulevard, then 10 blocks south. File a false robbery report to stall police until Marybeth safely returns to the rental, and also find out who Ray was fighting with at the time. The next morning, the geniuses at Harbor Neuroscience Institute began a citywide search. Each was uniquely gifted like Wolff, and for years Wolff had funded them heavily. Justine, who is autistic, was a top-tier software engineer. Her team would now remotely connect with Marybeth to locate and identify a suspect. They pulled all city traffic and security camera footage, focusing on suspicious activity between 8 p.m. and 10 p.m. In the post-shooting footage, they noticed a woman walking out of the tavern without any fear. They then comprehensively tracked her movements through all alleyways and streets, discovering she not only deliberately covered her face but also seemed fully aware of every camera location. They quickly pinpointed a woman in a pink jacket taking a selfie. Next, they hacked into the woman's phone to retrieve her selfie photos. Running her face through a recognition scan, they soon uncovered her identity. Within moments, they also cracked the password to her smart home system. They then easily accessed her computer, activated her webcam, and rapidly breached her photo database. After seamless teamwork, they successfully located the clear selfie. Running facial recognition on Anaïs, they found she seemed to be the last person seen talking to Ray, yet she actively concealed her movements. Simultaneously, Marybeth couldn't understand why Ray would meet this killer responsible for multiple murders, just to find an undocumented mother and son. Braxton then stated that many people in the photo weren't actually killed by Anise. Marybeth suddenly realized the man standing before her was also a notorious killer. Wolff quickly covered for him, saying everything his brother said was purely hypothetical, and she shouldn't take it seriously. Meanwhile, Anaïs's son, Alberto, was being held in Juárez, a secret trafficking base run by Burke, where many children were locked up waiting to be sold. Cobb disguised himself as a repairman, planning to kill Thomas to silence him. At that moment, Thomas was confessing to police that Burke made dirty money trafficking people. with most victims coming from Central America and Mexico. Most women were forced into the service industry, or field labor, while men were assigned to work in slaughterhouses' killing floors. The Anaïs in the photo was involved in a collision 5 years ago outside the Abelardo Street parking lot, and she was thrown completely through the windshield. Marybeth told Thomas to truthfully confess everything to obtain immunity, just as he was about to sign the agreement with the police. Then Marybeth found Dr. Williams, the deputy director of the hospital where Anise was treated after the crash. Dr. Williams stated that the crash caused Anise multiple fractures and severe trauma. Upon arrival, she was disoriented, fading in and out, and intermittently said someone had attacked her. Before reconstructive surgery, she underwent a neurorehabilitation program specifically designed by Dr. Williams, tailored for patients with severe brain injuries. At that time, Anaïs had lost almost all her memory. In college, Dr. Williams was the chess club champion. Even if Anaïs had known how to play chess before, she should have forgotten it completely by then. However, 3 days later, her condition took a turn. Acquired savant syndrome is extraordinarily rare, and some neurologists even debate its existence. As a victim of blunt force trauma, astonishing miracles can occur in very rare instances. A woman who had never touched a piano became proficient in modern piano within a single day after a fall caused her skull fracture. A baseball fan hit in the head by a 145 kilometers per hour. Foul ball woke up to discover he could master a foreign language in one afternoon. It's believed their brain circuitry was rewired, unlocking hidden abilities that theoretically exist in everyone. Anaïs's brain injury stimulated her frontal and parietal cortices, areas governing pattern recognition, problem solving, and critical thinking. What remains unexplained is why her memories were almost erased, yet her personality also transformed. Dr. Williams theorized the trauma that reshaped Anaïs's brain might have severed all non-essential neural connections. He didn't know what life Anise lived before the accident, but the woman discharged was entirely different from the one admitted. Over the following months, Anise grew increasingly isolated and volatile, until one night she beat a security guard unconscious and escaped with his gun. Whenever Dr. Williams tried to talk about her family, asking if she remembered her husband and child, she would involuntarily start whistling. Meanwhile, Justine uncovered all information about Anise's hospital treatment. Braxton called Batu, head of Europe's largest assassin organization, discovering Anise was in the same group. He learned Marybeth was Anise's next target, hired by the trafficker Burke. At night, Wolff accidentally saw Braxton's phone and realized Marybeth was in danger, so he immediately prepared to go rescue her. When Anise saw photos on the wall, she suddenly remembered the scene of her family being kidnapped. Traffickers had even tattooed a mark on her leg. Moments later, Wolff finally arrived and told Anise her son was likely held in a compound in Juárez. After Anise left, Wolff discovered Marybeth stabbed and lying in a pool of blood. Soon after, Burke received a call from Batu. Because of an unexpected interruption, the assassination target was not eliminated. According to underworld rules, the contract had to be terminated immediately. After the call, Burke sensed impending doom and ordered Cobb to rush to Juárez, take all the children to the desert, bury them alive, and leave no trace connecting to him. Meanwhile, Wolff and his brother raced non-stop towards Juárez. The next day, Justine's team quickly located Burke's compound, holding the children using a drone. It was 11 kilometers from Wolff. Cobb was tricking the children into boarding a bus, claiming he was taking them on an outing. The Wolff brothers arrived swiftly moments later, and an intense firefight erupted between both sides.
¡Cabrones! ¡Ábrelo! ¡Run,
Outnumbered, the children were transported away by Cobb. Another group of enemies was busy digging a deep pit. After a fierce battle against overwhelming odds, the Wolff brothers finally neutralized all enemies in the compound. The terrified children were now being herded into the pit, ready to be buried alive. At this critical life or death moment, Wolff and Braxton rushed to the scene. The ruthless Cobb took Alberto hostage in a desperate bid to turn the tables, only to be shot dead by Wolff the next second. All the children were successfully rescued. Simultaneously, Justine made a threatening call to Batu.
Batu Donetsk, owner of the largest kill squad in Europe.
I'm sorry. You have me confused with someone else.
52 years old, born in Nizhny Novgorod, Russian, Romanian, Mongol descent. 7 years in the prison known as the Black Dolphin, married 4 times, 1 child by a mistress. Would you like me to tell you the mileage on your Bentley?
What can I do for you?
Terminate the contract on Marybeth Medina.
Immediately after, she called Anaïs and told her Burke's current hiding place. Seeing crates full of cash before him, Burke thought he had narrowly escaped disaster. But as he walked out of the bathroom proudly after a shower, the film comes to an end. See you next time.